Welcome to the Keys free online promotional course. My name is George Mifsud, retired captain. I've been teaching with the Key for the last 20 years. Just going to give you a little background and brief history of the Key. We are the longest running NYPD promotional test prep school. We've been around for approximately 27 years. We have revolutionized the test preparation process. We're the only school that summarizes the patrol guide, the administrative guide, penal law, and legal bureau bulletins. The Key is also the only NYPD promotional school whose course has been recognized for college credit, a testament to the exceptional quality of our teaching and material, which means you can earn college credits by attending our regular course. A brief introduction of our team. Our team includes a former 3-star chief, borough commanders, precinct commanders, borough crime commanders, squad commanders, even a former police commissioner, Dermot Shea. He was a student and an instructor with the Key. Many of our instructors have Harvard Law School degrees. All are experts in NYPD promotional exams with a combined teaching experience of approximately 115 years. Like I said, we are a team. Tell you about list numbers, how well we did on prior exams, all right? I was number 3 on my sergeant exam. Kevin Ward was number 2 on his lieutenant's exam. John Monahan was number 33 on his captain's exam. And behind the scenes, that people that are working with us, we had number 1 and number 2 on their captain exams as well. In addition to our high score instructors, we are the only school with an instructor the department selected to write a prior promotional exam, and that is me. So you're getting the best of both worlds. Teaching you guys and girls how to pass an exam, and then my experience having been selected to write a prior promotional exam. All right, so no exams are scheduled. What should you be doing now? Don't listen to other people that are telling you to study for 1 hour each day, all right? You are going to burn out, material changes, not good, okay? Trust us. Watch our videos, review our material, practice our questions. When your test is announced, we will guide you the key way to ensure your preparation is on point. This coming year is about building a solid base, and next year is about intense training. A little bit about what this course is going to offer you. You are going to get a 1-hour video with a corresponding printable PDF lesson plan, which will be released every 2 weeks, covering the most highly tested patrol guide and administrative guide procedures. We will also cover any recent revisions to the patrol guide and admin guide, as well as the penal law and legal bureau bulletins. And to test your progress, you will be provided with a bi-weekly quizzer. We will keep you ready by providing you with material on the topics most tested over the last 25 years of promotional exams. These procedures make up approximately 70 to 80% of your test. By following our method, you'll stay fresh and ready to study hard when the test is announced. Not only is this course free, listen up people, all right? Anybody who signs up for this course and completes it will receive a 10% discount on the next course that you will take, whether it's sergeant, lieutenant, or a captain. So spread the word. Tell all your coworkers, partners, etc. about this nice discount we're going to give you guys and girls. Lesson 1, which is Patrol Guide Section 202, Duties and Responsibilities, will cover actors of all ranks that have appeared on every respective promotional exam. Those studying for captain should read the entire lesson plan. Those studying for lieutenant should only read police officer, sergeant, and lieutenant duties that appear in the lesson plan. And those studying for sergeant should only read police officer and sergeant duties that appear in the lesson plan. Patrol Guide section, I'm just going to give you a little overview of the whole Patrol Guide section 202. It has a total of 25 procedures that you are responsible for when studying for a sergeant exam. There are 17 police officer procedures and 8 sergeant actor procedures. 2 of the 8 sergeant actors, desk officer and patrol supervisor, have appeared on every promotional exam going back to 1988. So you know we're covering those 2 procedures for your sergeant exam in today's lesson, okay? Lesson 1 for lieutenant has 4 lieutenant actors, which is a total of 4 procedures, and lesson 1 for captain has a total of 4 captain actors, which will have 4 procedures. Here's a little breakdown of the 2 guides that you're going to be responsible for on test day. You have the patrol guide and you have the admin guide. Patrol guide has a total of 16 sections with 581 procedures, totaling 2,192 pages. The admin guide has 24 sections, 385 procedures, totaling 614 pages. Combine those books together, we have a total of 40 sections, 966 procedures, 2,806 pages. 2,806 pages. Take our key lesson plans for whatever course it is. All right, let's go with Sergeant. Our key lesson plan covers all of that in 1,135 pages. 202.18, desk officer. Very, very testable for every promotional exam. A desk officer will be the person who is a uniform member to service in the rank of sergeant or above. Uniform member to service. You have to know the difference when you see that in the guide. You're going to see UMOS, you're going to see MOS. UMOS is everybody who's out there studying for your exam, all right? When you see the term MOS, member of the service, that includes civilian members as well, principal, etc., okay? All right, desk officer. You will perform duty in uniform. You're responsible for all police operations in the command during the tour. When assuming desk duty, sign your name and time in the command log. Sign out in the command log when leaving the desk area for any reason. Operate and monitor the base radio. Be careful of that, because in reality, operating and monitoring the base radio sometimes is done by the TSOP. Test day, it is the desk officer. At the start of your tour, you will query the medical division sick reporting system to determine MOS who are out sick or not full duty. Immediately investigate any unaccounted MOS at the start of the tour. Immediately investigate. That means you, the desk officer, you got to do something right then and there. Don't go notify the ICO. Do something right then and there, okay? And if it's more than 2 hours where you cannot locate this member to service, then you're going to follow Admin Guide Procedure 32417, which is AWOL. After roll call, provide communications dispatcher with a complete rundown of command's resources as listed on the CPR system roll call. During the tour, update communications with changes as they occur, reassignments and or additional resources that become available. During the tour, you're going to log into DOS and input the following info. Tax numbers of all MOS on the roll call, tour assignment, and vehicle number if applicable. Check computer systems frequently throughout the tour. Be careful of the wording when it comes to time frames, all right? This duty right here is frequently throughout the tour. Command email, definitely an important line to know. The desk officer will check the command email account 2 times, immediately upon the start of the tour and during the 4th hour of the tour. And you're going to make a command log entry of the inspection. You ought to monitor the finest messages affecting the command and or members of the command. You are going to brief your platoon, monitor department directives, and disseminate info affecting the command as appropriate. Ensure important actionable information is relayed to outgoing platoon appropriate personnel as required. Prior to taking the desk duties, inspect all arrest processing and prisoner detention areas within the command. During the tour, periodically, there's another time frame, all right? Periodically inspect the arrest process area, ascertain the number of prisoners and length of time in the command. AVLs. You come across a non-functioning AVL. The desk officer has to notify 2 people, ITB service desk, and inform the patrol supervisor, and you're going to make a telephone record entry of that notification to ITB. Record adjustments on CPR roll call and make a command log entry of any post changes during the tour, like you have a member coming back from court or detail. And you have to notify 3 people of that post change. Patrol sergeant, TSOP, and communications dispatcher. Regarding meal, you will arrange meals and relief for personnel assigned inside the command facility. Ensure that supervisor meals are scheduled so that one supervisor is on patrol at all times. When more than one patrol supervisor is on patrol, one supervisor will relieve the desk officer of a meal. Meal relief is not an emergency. Property. Property is very, very important. A lot of people get jammed up when it comes to property. So at the beginning of the tour, inspect the property locker and all areas where invoice property is being held. Designate an MOS. Look what it just said. Designate an MOS. So that could be a civilian now, right? To conduct a physical inventory using forms. Forms P system will give you an inventory number. Enter the results of inspection of invoice property and property clerk division seals. Where is that going? In the command log. By documenting physical inventory number ascertained from Forms P. Next section. If you're looking at the PDF, highlight, star it. If you're not, it is very, very important, right? Property stored in excess of 30 days. That means more than 30 days. The desk officer has to take these additional steps. Very, very important. What they usually do is you'll come across a voucher that's been sitting in the property locker room or fell behind a cabinet for exactly 30 days. None of this, I'm going to say, matters. Has to be more than 30 days. Another term to watch out for on test day, all right? Besides frequency of timing and stuff like that, more than. When it comes to numbers, you're going to see 5, 7. You got to know if 5 is good or does it have to be more than. Pay attention when you see numbers, all right? So, property in excess of 30 days, desk officer does 3 things. Makes a separate command log entry indicating any invoices stored in excess of the 30 days. Second thing, notifies the ops coordinator of the number of vouchers stored in excess of 30 days. Third thing, get the shit out of there. Expedite delivery of the invoice property to its final storage location. 3 things are done when you have the over 30-day property. Desk officer certifies the accuracy and completeness of command log entry concerning voucher property. Desk officer, you will check on the repair availability, distribution of field and emergency equipment and make an entry in pertinent record. Report defective gas pumping and equipment to Fleet Services Fuel Control. Next line. They got many people on a prior test. The desk will ensure the U.S. flag is properly displayed from when? Sunrise to sunset each day. They switched the wording. They said sunset to sunrise. Don't fall for an easy one like that if you see it on test day. Accept service of civil process for members of the command and notify member concerned when the principal is not performing duty. Enter platoon members who enter the command for any reason where in the interrupted patrol log. Do not permit unauthorized people to go behind the desk except for the following. This has appeared on many, many tests, all right? So you got a list of who's allowed behind the desk. First thing you got to remember is the list. Second thing, they have to be performing official duties. 2 prongs have to be met, all right? On the list and performing official duties. So we have an acronym. I'm going to give you an acronym, okay? And acronyms are big for your exam. Make up your own acronyms if you don't see one in the lesson plan. Speak to your other people who are studying. Acronyms are big. So who's allowed behind the desk on test day, all right? Just remember this. You're the desk officer, you're having a party. You're going to allow 2 MCs and a DJ behind the desk. So with acronyms, what I did when I would study, I would accumulate all these acronyms, then I would take my list out, I would look at the list, I would write the acronyms down. That was my warm-up to before I hit studying the patrol guide every time I would study every day, all right? I start with the acronyms. Look at it, write it, look at it, write it. So what happens? It's going to wind up being right here. On test day, you're going to get scrap paper and you're going to write out the important acronyms. So who's allowed behind the desk? I just said you're having a party. So it's 2 MCs, MC, MC, and a DJ. All right? First, MOS. With the MOS, they have to be performing official duties. Prior test, you had a cop who was off duty, came into command, went to use the phone behind the desk. no good, all right? Performing official duties. Who's next? The C. Corp, counsel, or assistant. The next M. ME, or assistant. The next C. Comptroller, or assistant. The N is the one that's most recently added. Non-local law enforcement. The D, DA or assistant. And the J, judges, judicial officers. Be careful. Certain people get assistance, certain people don't. MOS don't get assistance. Judges don't get assistance, and either do the non-local law enforcement agency personnel. Please get that list down, all right? Who's allowed behind the desk? 2 MCs and a DJ. All right, so when it comes to the most recently added one, the non-local law enforcement, look what it says under the list in the lesson plan. It says, non-local law enforcement are not permitted in non-public areas of any city property. I would write right now on your notes, except going behind the desk. They can go behind the desk. If they want to go anywhere else, like in a locker room, they're checking lockers or something like that, when can they do that? They have to have a judicial warrant. They're authorized pursuant to a cooperative agreement, such as a task force. It furthers the purpose or mission of the department, such as public safety, required by law, or to some type of emergency. Visit all areas command facility at least once each tour. Regarding EEO issues, personally check restrooms and locker rooms for structural defects that would let a peep in town practice their sport. Correct the problem immediately when circumstances dictate. So you're doing your inspection and you can see right into the female or male locker room or bathroom. The door is broken. You need to fix the problem immediately. Shut down the bathroom, shut down the locker room. You have to correct it immediately, all right? Inspect the command for display of any offensive material. Ensure areas where department computer systems are being used within guidelines and not damaged. Fairly new material here. Inspect parking facilities, street sidewalks around the command to ensure the following: that no department vehicle or vehicle with restricted parking permit, that is your private cars, all right, are parked illegally, like in a bike lane, on the sidewalk, in front of a hydrant, bus stop, etc. And look at this line. You're also going to make sure no department or private vehicle have equipment violations, like obstructed license plates. Document facility inspection by making a command log entry and taking corrective action if necessary. All right, next page. Who do you supervise? You directly supervise the following. Here's another great acronym. You supervise the CAT-PAC, C-A-T-P-A-C, command clerk, arrest processing officer. Supervise them in conjunction with the ops coordinator and monitor the arrest processing. TS-OP, ensure civilian MOS is assigned when feasible, but you can also use uniform members unrestricted or limited. Patrol wagon operator, police attendant, and community guide. With the community guide, issue department tablet at the start of the tour, record name and tablet number in the command log entry, ensure the tablets return at the end of tour. Please know that acronym. Desk officer directly supervises the CAT-PAC. Then there's another duty somewhere in the procedure that talks about the command receptionist. The box there on the top of the page. Verify arrival and departure of command receptionist, signing the personal schedule and timesheet. Forward command reception reports as required. Query CPR system court appearance to ensure MOS required in court are properly notified and are attending. Any important matters, unusual arrest, occurrence, or whatever requires personal attention, you notify the CO. Trends observed or other important matters, you ought to confer with the CEO. Another little acronym there for you, all right? COXO Ops Coordinator. Any major incidents or special circumstances deemed appropriate by the CO of Intel or the CO of a precinct, PSA, or transit district, the desk is to notify Intel's Criminal Intel Section. Make required notifications to MOS assigned to or residing in your command. Directly supervise prisoner roster entries, issuance of summons books, and paycheck distributions. You would think that should be out by now, but there must be one person still on the job getting a hard paycheck, so that's why it's still in the book. Examine, sign, and forward forms and reports as required. When it comes to the telephone dispatch log, you are to certify entries by signing when? After the 4th hour and the end of tour. Now that 4th hour should sound familiar. We covered it in the beginning of this procedure when it came to the command email. Remember, you're checking it, start of the tour and during the 4th hour. In the same procedure, they mentioned the 4th hour. Maintain telephone record. You're going to prepare a daily vehicle assignment sheet each tour. Keep current month on a clipboard behind the desk, but only when you're working the first platoon will you verify the daily vehicle assignment sheet. So every desk officer prepares a daily vehicle assignment sheet, but only the late tour first platoon desk officer verifies it. Have completed sheets filed after each month. Make required entries and corresponding changes on CPR system prior to the start of the incoming platoon. At the end of tour, you are going to supervise the platoon sign out and make a command log entry with all the following: ID, condition, and location of any MOS injured during the tour. Location and time of any following jobs during the tour. Confirm shots fired, 1013s or 85s. When it comes to the 13s or 85s, could be confirmed or unconfirmed. When it comes to shots fired, only confirmed. Any open missing persons requiring follow-up, hospitalized prisoners and their locations, any fixed posts that require relief, and the number of 61s, TOIs, and PARs pending sign-off. And here's a catch-all: any other pertinent information as required. 20219, Patrol Supervisor. Comply with AG Procedure 32220, Attendance App Guidelines, at the start of tour and end of tour. You're going to see that a lot for all actors, most actors in 202. Patrol Sergeant, you will conduct the roll call. Yes, it's your duty. When? 5 minutes after the start of tour. Patrol in uniform as directed. You will supervise all police field operations in the command during the tour. When it comes to radio runs, you immediately respond and direct activity at WEBS radio runs. WEBS, great acronym. Been on numerous tests, all right? Weapons. Emergencies. Bergs. Serious crimes. So Patrol Sergeant responds to WEBS. I'm going to throw something in there extra. In 212, when it talks about fires, Patrol Sergeant has to respond to all fires as well. But that's according to 212. In this procedure, it is WEBS. Make appropriate digital activity log entries. If the patrol supervisor is unavailable, radio will immediately dispatch patrol supervisors from adjoining command. Ensure radio runs directed to MOS assigned to sector or post are acknowledged. When services are no longer needed, direct RMP units to resume patrol. Regarding meal, Patrol Sergeant will notify the TSOP of the meal location and relieve Lieutenant Platoon Commander or desk officer for meal when designated. Use AVL in DOS to monitor RMP locations for uniformed members of the service safety and to ensure proper delivery of police service. If AVL is not working, 2 steps for you, Sergeant. Notify the desk officer and do not place the RMP out of service unless directed by IEB or Fleet Services Division. Either or. Don't let them take out the or and say and. Then it would say IEB and FSD. No, either one, IEB or FSD. Supervise inspection of department vehicles assigned to members of platoon. Evaluate driving habits, abilities, and take corrective action as necessary. You will direct motor scooter operator to the platoon commander or desk officer for reassignment when weather or road conditions are dangerous. So if you come across a guy or girl in a scooter and he tells you the roads are slippery, don't give him a new post or assignment right there. Send him back to the house to speak to the desk officer. Regarding seatbelts, report serious deficiencies to who? Lieutenant Platoon Commander. If they're not there, then go direct to the CO. And if seatbelt defects are deemed not consistent with normal usage, you ought to take appropriate action. Next line, definitely highlight it, know it. Report all vandalism of RMP seatbelts to who? IAB. Serious deficiencies, Lieutenant. Vandalism, IAB. And you ought to be vigilant for indication of disabling or improper use, like it's buckled behind the occupant's body or seat. Supervise MOS's performance of duty, test knowledge of command conditions, and closely evaluate activity. Use the neighborhood policing app to supervise or conduct neighborhood policing functions as applicable. Visit MOS as follows. Foot post and RMP frequently and at irregular intervals. Ensure MOS do not congregate or engage in unnecessary conversation with other MOS while on post unless it's a police necessity. Visit hospital and special post when? At least once a tour. And you're going to document visits in digital activity log by entering name, time, assignment of member visited, and sign digital activity logs of uniformed members of the service that you visited. Report derelictions of duty to who? CO. Conduct investigations and submit reports as required, including but not limited to injuries to MOS, line of duties we're talking about, or damage to department property, maybe a PAR. Review and sign officer profile report of POs, detectives, specialists monthly. Make required entries and deliver to who? Platoon commander by the 5th day for the previous month. Any matters of importance, you ought to notify Lieutenant Platoon Commander or desk officer. Matters of mutual importance or trends, you ought to confer with the COXO Ops Coordinator, Platoon Commander, desk officer, or NCO Sergeant. And be cognizant of crime and conditions and instruct officers regarding activity affecting their sectors or post. And lastly, in the box, you want to recommend somebody for special assignment. Submit it to the CO in writing for any members under your supervision, special assignment or detective designation or change in assignment. 20226, Lieutenant Platoon Commander. When you are a platoon commander, you are the CO for your platoon, all right? You will be responsible for all command operations during the tour. Make entry in command log when you're reporting on or off duty. Comply with AG 32220, the attendance app at the start of tour and end of tour. Perform duty in uniform, except when directed by the CO or other competent authority to be in plain clothes to do discrete observations with the ICO, or you are directing plainclothes units. Platoon commander, you will supervise the roll call. Little refresher here. Who conducts the roll call? Patrol sergeant conducts it 5 minutes after the start of the tour. So platoon commander supervise. At the start of the tour, cause adjustments to be made. Grant tour changes and excusals as appropriate. Schedule meals, making sure a supervisor is on duty at all times. Assume responsibilities of the desk officer or patrol supervisor based on the needs of the command. Utilize the neighborhood policing app to supervise and conduct neighborhood policing functions. Identify conditions to be addressed by members working a platoon. Ensure platoon personnel are properly supervised. Regarding activity logs, you will maintain a digital activity log and make entries with the following: time, name, assignment, and location of members visited, and what's your responsibility when it comes to signing books. Even though I say books, you know it's all done electronically. Inspect and sign digital activity logs of who? Patrol supervisors daily. Be responsible for proper entries of complaint info in Omni form during the tour. On the first platoon, review reports and forms prepared for the previous 24 hours. You should all know by now, when you see something with first platoon or verifying for the prior 24 hours, it's an indicator. It's not done by all platoon commanders or desk officers, just like the daily vehicle assignment sheet. First platoon desk verifies it. Investigate communications assigned. Ensure sergeants properly and accurately complete communications and reports. Query the NYPD's 360 CCRB dashboard when? Regularly. To ID and review complaints versus platoon members. Confer with CO and ICO as appropriate. At the start of the tour, you are to confer with platoon commanders or patrol supervisors from the previous tour. Confer frequently with SOL about command crimes and conditions. Confer with the SOL to allocate all resources for the platoon. Next line is almost everybody in the command. Confer with CO, XO, operations coordinator, SOL, ICO, squad commander, BRAM commander, with any matters of importance, unusual arrest, personnel integrity, or other. Confer with platoon commanders of adjacent precinct, PSAs, and districts to coordinate crime strategies. Confer with your ICO regarding, acronym for you, ICOPS, integrity issues, CCRBs, OT concerns, personnel sick records. Inspect the command facility when? Each tour. Enter results in the command log. Complete self-inspections assigned. Ensure sergeants properly and accurately complete self-inspections. And on a second platoon, you are responsible for the maintenance and weekly inspection of RMPs. Little box there on the right, regarding personnel. Prepare subordinate supervisor evals. When it comes to the profile reports, you are to forward to ops coordinator by the 7th of each month. So, how does it go? PO to sergeant by second day. Patrol supervisor to platoon commander by the 5th day. All right? And then to ops coordinator by the 7th. Evaluate training needs. Confer with training sergeant as required. Recommend platoon members for training to properly run your platoon. Regarding paid detail, at the start of the tour, access the intranet to obtain active paid detail locations, times of assignment in the precinct. Make command log entry of active paid detail locations, including time of assignment. Print reference copy of paid detail assignment schedule and attach it to the roll call. And here's a great test question. If the platoon commander is unavailable, who is going to do that? Another lieutenant or above performing duty within the command will perform these duties. 202-27, Special Ops Lieutenant. Perform duty in uniform when practical. Make entry in command log when reporting on or off duty, and just like most other actors, comply with AG 32220, attendance app at the start of tour and end of tour. Enter in command log when you leave or return to command during the tour and the reason why. Perform tours approved by the CO to maximize supervision of subordinate personnel. You are the problem-solving coordinator. In conjunction with the precinct commander, take steps to problem solve. Identify, analyze, design, implement, and evaluate. Be cognizant of community crime trends and quality of life conditions. Allocate resources to address. Coordinate crime prevention programs. You will supervise and coordinate specialized personnel, such as NCO sergeant, DV sergeant, crime prevention officer, and auxiliary police coordinator. Personally observe conditions in the command and monitor field performance of subordinates. Use the neighborhood policing app to supervise, conduct neighborhood policing functions. Regarding the officer profile reports, within 7 days of the end of the month, review and sign the profile report and deliver it to the ops coordinator. Seems weird, lieutenant going to another lieutenant, but that's the way it goes, all right? Confer with detail sergeants as necessary. Inspect records, logs of subordinate units and members. Query the NYPD 360 CCRB dashboard regularly to ID and review complaints versus specialized personnel, and confer with CO and ICO as appropriate. That direct line also is in Platoon Commander. Platoon Commander, all it says, it changes the personnel at the end. So Platoon Commander, you're looking at platoon members. Here, SOL, specialized personnel. Liaison with New York State Office of Victim Services, any other state, city victim advocacy agencies. Maintain contact with community associations, civic groups, and principals of local schools. Confer regularly with Command's Detective Squad Commander to share info. Confer regularly with platoon commanders regarding conditions within the command. Ensure NCO sergeant and your YCO are maintaining contact with local schools. Encourage exchange of info between detective squad and specialized units. Encourage exchange of info between specialized units and platoons. Be knowledgeable of orders and procedures. Test subordinates' knowledge. At the direction of the CO, attend community board and community council meetings. When subordinates are speaking, attend public meetings at which subordinates speak. This chart box on the bottom is a great tool, all right? All different time frames of your responsibility. So daily, as the SOL, you review and sign off on pending jury reports in the online juvenile report system. Weekly, review and approve subordinate work schedules. And also, you're going to do an audit and review of jury reports and juvenile-related complaint report worksheets for accuracy. Monthly, inspect and sign activity logs of who? NCO sergeants. And annually, you prepare the annual evals for supervisors under your direct control. 20228, Operations Coordinator. Make entry in command log when reporting on or off duty. Comply with AG 32220, which is the attendance app at the start of tour and at the end of tour. Enter in command log when leaving or returning to command during the tour and reason. Next bullet, highlight. Do not perform desk or patrol duties. Again, this is test day. Test day in reality, two different worlds. Perform tours set by your CO. Perform duty in uniform. Assist the CO in admin matters. Represent the CO at meetings within the command when designated. Supervise the following programs: election details, community guide program, command safety program, OSHA, human relations program. When it comes to human relations, close liaison with Borough Community Affairs Coordinator and the Chief of Community Affairs. Notice, they did not mention Precinct Community Affairs Officer. You are the Assistant Recycling Sustainability Coordinator for the command. You have a fancy title. You are to implement an effective recycling program. Confer with departments lead recycling and sustainability coordinator from Facilities Management Division. Ensure the training sergeant provides MOS with recycling info and best practices. You are to complete applicable portions of the NYPD recycling report and plan and email it to, I don't think you're responsible for the email address, but it's recycleprogram@nypd.org. This is the most important part. By June 1st, annually. Go back up to when I said supervise the community guide program. Look at the top box on the right. Oversee and supervise community guide program. Yes, it says program, not the community guide themselves. Who supervises them? That's the desk officer. Remember, CAT-PAC is your acronym for that desk officer duty. Ensure MOS and the command are working in proper chart. Recommend redeployment if necessary to COXO desk officer platoon commander. Assign communications equally to sergeants. Regarding court appearances, send court appearances through the desk officer to MOS. Coordinate OT programs. Next one's, in reality, most commands done by the ICO. But test day, it's ops coordinator. Liaison with DAs to reduce RDO court appearances. assist in providing DA's office with discoverable materials required for all arrests in a timely manner, ensure command timekeeper makes entries in leave of absence location during absence database, maintain and review records and files of the command, supervise the following personnel. Remember, desk officer acronym was CATPAC. I don't have an acronym for you here. Make one up, and you'll never ever forget. You will supervise the command staff, arrest processing officer. Remember, that one is also supervised by the desk officer. PRAA, your principal administrative associate, evidence property control specialist, and custodians. And you will supervise and monitor performance of the following 3 sergeants: training sergeant, traffic safety sergeant, and crime analysis sergeant. Regarding crime analysis, listen to the wording of this. You, the ops coordinator, aka admin lieutenant, are to review 61s and consult with crime analysis personnel to determine priority crime locations. If I was unsure on test day of whose duty that was and I had to guess, I would go with SOL. But no, test day, it is ops coordinator. Inspect the command daily. Enter results of inspection in the command log. Ensure there's no display of offensive material. You're going to check on condition of equipment. Personally inspect your youth room and note results in your daily command log entry. Ensure the free interpretation sign is displayed in the reception area and the dual handset is present and functional. Any missing or defective handset, follow PG 21920 and also call telecommunications unit Monday through Friday, 06 to 1800, off hours, ITB service desk. Be careful of that off hours, because on prior tests, they like to go to the off hours for some reason, okay? Anti-corruption posters. Ensure the following 2 posters. Reporting corruption and misconduct, that's one. And the other one, corruption tears us all apart, are posted in non-public areas of the command. Non-public areas of the command. Do not let them remove the word non on test day. You will supervise the semi-annual inspection of the fire extinguishers, all right? When are they done? January and July. Both months begin with a J and end with a Y. Don't let them fool you and use January and June. The inspecting MLS will initial the tag, and you will make a command log entry of the inspection. Notify the CO of any structural defects where people can see in any restroom or locker room. If such a condition is identified, immediate corrective action must be taken. Hazards that cannot be repaired by precinct personnel, notify the borough or bureau safety coordinator. Ensure the firearm safety station is appropriately located. Consider safety factors at the location, no distractions, people, etc. Ensure it's free of debris and obstructions. Good luck with that one. And ensure the gun safety sticker is affixed. And last duty for the ops coordinator. You are to survey snow blowers, snow shovels, de-icing, rock salt, etc. by September 15th. And lastly, query. Every lieutenant so far you've seen this duty. Query. NYPD 360 CCRB dashboard regularly to ID and review complaints versus subordinates in command. For platoon commander, that would say versus platoon members. For SOL, it says versus specialized personnel. 202-29, integrity control officer, the boogeyman. Perform no duties other than integrity control. Provide the CO with your work schedule roll call by Thursday for the upcoming week. Upon approval, provide copy to the CO of the borough or bureau investigations unit. Develop and maintain integrity control program. You will develop a comprehensive overtime control plan, including audit and review process. Ensure the annual issuance of and collection of parking permits is in compliance with PG 219-29. Regarding CPP, confidential performance profile. Compile, maintain, update the CPP of subordinates. When an MOS is transferred, send to new CO. Upon assignment and annually thereafter, confer with all sergeants regarding members of the command with significant negative info in the CPP. Conduct CPI checks of newly assigned MOS and verify annually with Personnel Bureau. Inspect and sign activity log of sergeants, period. Doesn't tell you which sergeants, it doesn't tell you time frame, so it's not monthly, weekly, daily. All it says is inspect and sign activity logs of sergeants. Check equipment and supplies for misuse, misappropriation. Monthly, you are physically, personally going to inspect the radios to make sure they are there. If you come across a radio assigned outside the command on a permanent basis, confer with your CO. Inspect non-public areas of the command to ensure the following two posters are posted: reporting corruption and misconduct, and corruption tears us apart. This is also done by the ops coordinator. Ascertain that computer security and integrity is maintained, including all department recorded media and evidence, investigative, etc. Verify identifications unit printout of criminal history inquiries. You will do an audit monthly of DOS. Monthly. Don't let them change it to weekly, bi-weekly, semi-annually, all right? Monthly audit of DOS. Ensure desk officer or counterpart in a non-patrol command updates the AVL each tour. Investigate damage caused to any AVL device. Ensure all notifications regarding issues with AVLs have been made to ITB by the desk officer. Conduct random checks of summonses to ensure proper license plate numbers are recorded on the parking summons certification card as part of your self-inspection program. When it comes to property, mainly the over 30-day property, you are going to daily review command log entries to identify property stored in excess of 30 days. Consult with ops coordinator, desk officer to determine if an integrity or corruption hazard exists. And here's a big if. If corruption hazard exists, then the next two steps kick in. Brief, XOCO, yes, it says XOCO, okay? And take appropriate action to correct the situation. Visit corruption-prone locations frequently and at irregular hours. Visit command holding cells, squad cells, hospitalized prisoner rooms, ERs, etc. Keep CO advised of corruption conditions and corruption hazards. Debrief prisoners regarding corruption. Liaison with IEB, borough investigations to develop info regarding self-initiated anti-corruption programs. Notify borough investigations concerned regarding any self-initiated cases. Don't let them switch that to IEB. Locker stickers, total of 5, 2 on the outside, 3 on the inside, all right? The 2 on the outside both begin with the letter P. Proper tactics saves lives, and police don't move. And you, the ICO, every November will inspect for the 2 stickers on the outside, male and female lockers they should be on, ensure the police don't move, has rank, name, shield, and squad prepared, and make a command log entry. What are the 3 that go on the inside? Gun safety, seatbelt, and health and wellness. Gun safety should sound familiar, right? Because the ops coordinator will make sure it's affixed to the firearms safety station. Inform local businesses of department policy, penal law regarding gratuities and corruption. Instruct UMOS during roll call regarding identifying corruption and reporting. Comply with the department's disciplinary matrix. Provide advice to your CO regarding appropriate penalties for CDs. Investigate and submit reports in response to IEB or borough investigations as assigned by your CO. Query the NYPD 360 CCRB dashboard regularly to identify command trends requiring attention. Another lieutenant that is looking at the CCRB dashboard. On the bottom of this page, great box, great recap of each lieutenant's duties when it comes to the CCRB dashboard. Use forms to regularly review PARs for corruption indicators. What is a corruption indicator? The following: discrepancies between the date and time and uniform member's scheduled tour, an inordinate number of PARs from the same officer, a PAR from command clerk, PAR from uniform member from outside command, and investigate above when warranted, and you will contact the fraudulent collision investigation squad for assistance if necessary. Review the following records: court, overtime, property, supervisor feedback forms, vending machine ledgers, etc. And when it comes to military records, investigate when MOS fails to provide appropriate military records to the timekeeper. 20230, executive officer. Reporting on and off duty, you're going to make a command log entry. Perform duty in uniform when practical. If the CO is absent, no time frame, absent, you ought to assume command and perform functions of the CO. Pay attention to the next line. If the CO is absent for 24 hours or more, sign routine communications and reports for 24 hours or more. So 24, exactly 24 is good, all right? When it comes to numbers, be careful. You already passed 2 tests. You know how they play games with numbers, okay? You're going to work charters directed by the borough CO, perform duties of the duty captain when directed, open days, perform tour which best meets the day-to-day needs of the command. Do not perform the same duty as the CO and work in the same tour. XO will perform patrol duty while CO performs patrol or vice versa. The XO and the CO, yes, they can work the same tour, but not perform the same duties. You ought to respond to major radio runs and unusual occurrences in the command and request duty captain's assistance if necessary. Coordinate all specialized units, assist the CO in managing the day-to-day operations and oversight of neighborhood policing. Use the neighborhood policing app to supervise, conduct neighborhood policing functions. Assign command police officer to cover traffic posts when traffic conditions require. Manage the field training program within the precinct PSA transit district. Study deployment of resources. Recommend more effective deployment to the CO. Evaluate training, planning, and personnel. Make recommendations to the CO. Supervise administrative functions of the command. Supervise the investigation of communications and written reports. Box on the right regarding property. Big deal. Property is a big deal. Review command log entries regarding invoice property when daily. Any property stored more than 30 days, consult with the ops coordinator, desk officer, evidence property control specialist to determine appropriate course to expedite transfer to final storage location. And you'll brief the CO on actions taken. Study deployment of resources. Recommend more effective deployment to the CO. Evaluate training, planning, and personnel. Make recommendations to the CO. Inspect and sign interrupted patrol log once each tour. Check uniform, appearance, equipment of members when frequently. Inspect and sign activity logs of who? Platoon commanders, SOL, and patrol supervisors at least once each month. Ensure command is clean and all equipment is accounted for and is in good condition and personnel are performing necessary police duty. Adjudicate CDs as directed by CO. Conduct investigations as directed by CO, competent authority. Represent the CO at community meetings of concern to command when designated. And lastly, stop reports. Personally conduct command self-inspection of stop reports as per quality assurance section 20232. Duty captain. You're all going to be a duty captain when you get promoted. Perform duty in uniform in that patrol borough-based department vehicle called a duty captain response vehicle. Supervise all personnel performing duty within the borough command. Respond to major radio runs and unusual occurrences. If Big if. COXO precinct of occurrence is working, COXO will respond and perform prescribed functions. The duty captain will assist as requested. You will visit precincts, PSAs, districts, and borough court sections. And when you visit, you will inspect and sign the interrupted patrol log. You will also, during your visit, inspect command detention cells, holding cells, detective holding cells, and you will make a command log entry of the inspections. Visit emergency rooms, hospitalized prisoners. Make appropriate command log entry regarding the visit. Escape prisoners in the absence of precinct, PSA, transit district, borough court section, COXO, then you will personally prepare a report on prisoner escape. When you're notified by operations of a traffic congestion problem or condition, confer with Traffic Management Center supervisor and direct that supervisor to record conditions where? On a daily significant incident report and in the TMC command log. Evaluate the situation and assign patrol bureau other resources as necessary. Next section is very, very important. Removing a gun from a uniformed member. Prior to suspending, modifying, or temporarily removing guns in a non-disciplined case, very important, non-disciplined case, you will make a background inquiry through IB during the initial stages of the investigation of an MOS if necessary. This call to IB is for background only. It is still your decision on whether or not to remove the firearm. Upon completion of your investigation for which an IB log number has been generated, prepare a detailed 49 to IB Command Center, including disposition of allegations and findings, and determination as to the necessity for further investigation. Recommend closing an investigation if deemed complete. And at the end of tour, you will do a report and include all the following: observations, visits, and inspections, any discipline, unusual occurrences, radio backlog and action taken, radio runs to which responded, and recommendations to improve police service. 202-33, commanding officer of a precinct PSA district. Reporting on or off duty, you're going to make a command log entry, perform duty in uniform whenever practical. You're responsible for the following 5 categories: performance, proper performance of functions designated for the command; discipline, efficiency and discipline of personnel assigned to the command; training, informing members of the command of current directives and orders; equipment, serviceability, proper care and use of equipment assigned to the command; and administration, patrol, administrative, and crime reporting functions of the command. You, the CO, are the senior problem-solving coordinator for the command. Remember, your SOL is the problem-solving coordinator. What's the acronym? Internal Affairs DIE, IADIE, all right? Identify, analyze, design, implement, and evaluate the effectiveness of the response and modify it if necessary. Ensure neighborhood policing philosophy informs decision-making and advances department's goals of reducing crime, promoting safety and respect, and solving problems collaboratively. Use the neighborhood policing app to supervise or conduct neighborhood policing as applicable. Select UMOS for steady sectors, NCOs, NCO sergeant, DVPO, and your YCO. Regarding your YCO, look what it says. The CO must confer with the Borough Ops Commander before selecting your YCO. You will select 2 uniformed members of any rank to be your digital communications officer. This DCO is not a new position. Selected UMOS perform duties in addition to DCO duties. So crime prevention cop, he will be your DCO possibly and still do his crime prevention work. Respond to major radio runs, unusual occurrences when available. Request assistance of the duty captain if necessary. When leaving for patrol emergencies, make command log entry indicating manner of patrol, department order number, whether in uniform or civilian clothes. Use department vehicle for patrol. when your presence is required at the scene of emergency or when you're on official business within the city. If you have less than 2 supervisors on any tour, the CO is responsible to notify the borough command. If you're in transit, you notify the Transit Bureau wheel. Review activity of members of the command each month. Anybody who is on level 2 or 3 monitoring, you ought to personally review and sign the monitoring profile of MOS on level 2 or 3. Performance profiles are due the 5th of each month. Level 2s, quarterly. Level 3s, monthly. Before recommending or granting a change of precinct assignment, consult MOS's immediate supervisor. Assign MOS proportionally to squads according to the needs of the command. Assign MOS with specialized qualifications to permit greatest use of abilities. Regarding your specialized units, they will be deployed based on command crime analysis trends and patterns with emphasis on violent street crimes and birds. Closely monitor performance and ensure proper supervision, training, and equipment. Maintain record of volunteers and assign accordingly. If a member is on level 2 or 3 monitoring, contact Bureau or Borough CO. We're talking about specialized unit placement here. Carefully review long-term assignment after 5 years recommended for career path assignments through the Detective Bureau. Important time frames coming up in the next few bullets. Upon assignment to the command and semi-annually thereafter, you ought to visit CCRB, IEB, Community Affairs Bureau, and Quality Assurance Section. When it comes to EEO, you ought to visit the Deputy Commissioner of Equity and Inclusion when, upon assignment to command, and annually thereafter. Everybody above was semi-annually. EEO, only once a year, annually. You ought to have annual EEO meetings with command supervisors to discuss their EEO responsibilities. Regarding EEO liaisons, assign 2 non-supervisory MOS who are willing to voluntarily serve as EEO liaisons. Ensure the EEO liaison applications and CO recommendations are submitted to the Office of Equity and Inclusion. Meet with your liaisons when quarterly regarding new EEO policies and laws. Ensure liaisons are scheduled to attend all mandatory training unless on vacation or sick. Ensure all members are aware of EEO guidelines and active EEO liaisons. And ensure all MOS comply with AG 332-01, which is EEO policy, and 332-02, display of offensive material. Instruct and frequently test the knowledge of members regarding their duties and responsibilities. Provide 2 consecutive day tours of formal orientation for newly assigned lieutenant, sergeants, and police officers. Include interviews, introductions, various command conditions, problems, boundaries, crime stats, etc. Ensure supervisors make frequent personal inspection of uniform, equipment, and personnel appearance of MOS at outgoing roll calls while on duty. Regarding community affairs, supervise and direct community affairs officer where appropriate. Regarding clergy liaisons, upon initial assignment to command, review and evaluate all clergy liaisons. Maintain as much personal contact as possible to keep abreast of community tension trends with business, civic, fraternal, religious, political, recreational, charitable, youth, and poverty corporation groups, local radio station, newspapers, or any other with community influence interest. Regarding discipline, supervise and monitor the performance of the ICO. Upon assignment to the command, you ought to review CPI background request of personnel in critical positions. You ought to review disciplinary history of members in performance monitoring programs. If you're going to go ahead with removal proceedings, having somebody administratively transferred. You ought to confer with the CO, Performance Analysis Unit, regarding any removal proceedings when the MOS fails to perform assigned duties properly. Regarding the CCRB dashboard, you ought to review it at least once per month. Review all new CCRB complaints received in the command. Confer with the subject member of the command prior to all CCRB appearances. Review all associated complaint documentation with subject member. Prepare a typed letterhead detailing. Confer with member and forward to the borough adjutant. And confer with the Professional Standards Division if, again, watch out for the ifs, early intervention measures are appropriate. Develop and review the precinct school security plan, summer youth security plan, safe corridor plan, and for transit Bureau commands, safe passage plan. Review and analyze reports received from a staff inspection unit and respond as requested, instituting actions to correct any deficiencies identified. Assign ranking officer to perform tasks normally reserved for the CO. Assign members of the command to read, analyze, and report on large communications directed to you regarding property. Sergeants, lieutenants, captains, all involved in this property. Invoice property in the command, which is more than 30 days. You, the CO, will notify the borough XO or adjutant. Investigate and expedite transit to the final storage location. And lastly, assign ranking officers to inspect the facility daily for security, cleanliness, and orderliness.